It's a Wonderful Life. Act 1, Scene 1, Take 1.
And now, it's time for Page Players Radio Theater, starring Gavin Marsh, Nicole Mercer, Hannah Kevorkian, and Ford Logan, along with Chloe Fraley, Brandon Poplar, Evie Blankenship, Mackenzie Lee, and sound effect artist Caleb Wood, and myself, Tyler Ray, in It's a Wonderful Life. The story begins with George Bailey, an ordinary man who lives in Bedford Falls, New York. But George Bailey, more than anything, wanted to see the world. The big world outside his hometown. George had big dreams, but also big responsibilities. Of course, sometimes the two don't always exactly fit together. Sometimes happiness is not over the rainbow, but right underneath your nose. However, our story does not begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in this world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels is briefing an apprentice angel named Clara.
Clara Oddbody, Angel Second Class, reporting for duty, Your Honor.
What? Does it mean Angel Second Class? You mean you haven't earned your wings yet?
No, not yet. But I'm hoping this mission will do the trick. Are you really sending me down to Earth? Gosh, I haven't been to Earth since that time that
Yes, you see, there's a man in trouble down there.
Oh, good.
No, bad Clara. At precisely 10:45 p.m. Earth time, a man named George Bailey will be thinking of taking his life.
Oh, my ending his life. Well, I know that's bad.
Good, Clara. I'm glad you understand. So, you must stop him, if you can. Now, let me brief you about George Bailey's case history. You see, when George was a boy...
Oh, that's okay, Your Honor. All I need is a plan.
A plan?
You see, Your Honor, I'm reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Mark Twain.
Yes, I'm familiar with the literature.
Well, Tom Sawyer always has a plan.
I see. Well, if you can help George Bailey with your plan, Clara, you just may get your wings. Say, how long have you been waiting for your wings?
Over 200 years?
200 years? Well, George Bailey's gonna need a miracle.
Yes, thank you for your confidence in me, boss. I'll leave immediately.
Wait, Clara. Plan or no, first some background. Now, when George Bailey was a boy, he and his friends snuck on old Potter's land and were sliding over a frozen pond on a shovel.
Pretty good, George.
But George's younger brother, Harry, fell through the ice.
You okay?
And George jumped in to save Harry?
Yes, but as a result, George has a bad ear.
Sure, the icy water infection. I get it.
Now look, Clara. A few months later, young George was working after school at Gower's drugstore. But on this day, Mr. Gower received a telegram informing him that his only son had just died from influenza. Devastated, Mr. Gower was trying to drown his sorrow in whiskey when the young George Bailey... Gower's drugs. Mrs. Blaine, what? Well, George should have delivered that medicine by now. Wait, here he comes. I'll send it right over. Goodbye. George, did you deliver that prescription?
Well, no, Mr. Gower,
Why didn't you deliver that right away? The little Blaine girl's sick. You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower, here it is.
Why, you?
Ow, Mr. Gower, my ear.
You good-for-nothing lazy loafer.
Ow, you're hurting my sore ear.
What are you trying to do, ruin me?
No, Mr. Gower, you put something wrong in these pills.
Shut up, you little.
Look, I know you're sad. You're upset about your son dying. You've been drinking, but you put something bad in these capsules. I didn't know what to do.
Huh? The capsules?
Look at them, Mr. Gower. You took the powder from this bottle. It's poison.
Poison? Poison, oh my God.
Please don't hurt my sore ear again, please.
George.
That's why I didn't deliver the medicine, Mr. Gower. I wanted to ask my pop to make sure, but he was busy. He couldn't.
George, forgive me, George.
I won't ever tell a soul, Mr. Gower. I know you're sad. I won't ever tell anyone. I hope to die.
Little Mary Hatch was at the soda fountain that day. She heard it all, but she too never told a soul.
George sure took a beating, but he did the right thing.
Well, George grew up and he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't enough money. So he worked 4 years at the Bailey Building and Loan Association.
Building and loan?
Yes, George's father was in the building and loan business. He and George's uncle Billy, but it was a case of high ideals and low bank account.
Those two always seem to go together.
Yes, anyway, George worked for his father and saved enough to pay for college. But first, he was going to summer in Europe, working his way across on a cattle boat. Full of wanderlust, George wanted to do a little traveling before college.
You know, Pop, as good as Ma's apple pie is, and it's peachy for an apple pie, I've had enough. Gee, it's hard to believe this is my last night at the old Bailey boarding house.
We're all going to miss you, George.
Oh, and I'm gonna miss you, Pop, and you, Mother, and everyone in Bedford Falls.
You've certainly earned your chance, son.
Oh, and I'm gonna take it. But hey, what's the matter, Pop? You look kind of tired.
I don't know. I had another run-in with Henry Potter today.
Mr. Potter? That old money-grubbing buzzard? I thought when you put him on the board of directors, he'd ease up on us a little.
So did I. He may be the richest man in town, but...
Oh, the most miserable, if you ask me. I don't understand why somebody like Mr. Potter, I mean, he can't begin to spend all the money he has.
Potter is crippled. Spent his life in that wheelchair. He's frustrated. Think about it, George. If you were...
But Potter owns everything he wants in town. Everything except the Bailey Building and Loan.
Maybe that's why he hates us. To him, we're just a bunch of foolish...
Hey, George, can I borrow your tuxedo cufflinks for tonight's dance?
Sure, Harry, help yourself.
Well, where are they? Here, in your suitcase?
Harry, George won't be needing a tuxedo on a cattle boat.
You never know. Say, where'd you get that beat-up old suitcase anyway, George?
At the Emporium, Harry. Mr. Gower bought it for me.
Going away present?
Yep, far away. You see, one of these days that bag will be plastered with exotic travel stickers, you know, like Rome, Athens, Baghdad, Samarkand.
I guess you're gonna have a pretty full summer, George.
Oh, I'm gonna have a pretty full life.
So why don't you come to tonight's dance?
Your graduation dance? Nah, I'd be bored to death.
Oh, but what a wonderful death.
There'll be lots of pretty girls, son.
And we're using that new gym floor tonight.
That was a brilliant idea of yours, George. Putting the pool under the gym saved the high school thousands.
Well, Pop, that's just the start for me. You wait. Oh, the things I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna see.
Like the tuxedo cufflinks?
Oh, try upstairs, Harry, my top drawer.
Okay. Ooh, yikes. Gotta hurry. Bye.
Was I like that when I graduated from high school, Pop?
Pretty much. I sure wish we could send Harry to college with you, George.
Yeah, but Harry and I've got all that to figure out. He'll take over my job at the building and loan, work and save for 4 years like I did, and then he'll go.
He's pretty young for that job.
Well, he's no younger than I was.
You were just born old, George.
How's that, Pop? You know my trick here.
I said you were born old.
Well, then, that's why I've got to hurry now. There's a whole world out there just waiting for me to conquer it.
George, when you get out of college, you wouldn't consider coming back to the building and loan, would you?
What? Come back? Oh, no. I just couldn't. I mean, I couldn't face being cooped up for the rest of my life in a shabby little office with all those...
I see.
I'm sorry, Pop. I didn't mean that. It's just this business of nickels and dimes.
I know, spending your life trying to figure out how to save 3 cents on the length of a pipe. I understand, son.
Do you, Pop? Staying here, I'd go crazy. You see, I want to do something big, something important.
But in a small way, we are doing something important, George. In that shabby little office, we help people buy their own homes. We help their dreams come true.
I know, Pop, but most of my friends have already finished college. I feel like if I didn't get away, I'd bust.
I guess you're right.
You know what I mean, don't you?
I know that this town's no place for anybody, unless you crawl to Mr. Potter.
Yeah, that's not for me, Pop. Not that kind of life.
Yeah, you've got talent, George. A gift. So travel. Get yourself that education. Then do what you want, son.
You know, Pop, you ready for a shock? I think you're a pretty great guy.
Well, thank you, George. Look, why don't you go over to Harry's dance? See that new gym floor over the pool. You'll have fun.
Well, it is my last night in Bedford Falls. I guess I could drop in, inspect the retracting floor, say goodbye to friends, maybe dance a bit. Maybe I will at that. See you later.
So, George Bailey went to a dance. Is that important, boss?
Why, he was at that dance that he fell in the pool with Mary Hatch. and most of the rest of the graduating class of 1928.
So, George and Mary went overboard at the dance.
Later, he was walking her home and feeling pretty good, Clara. As a matter of fact, wonderful.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Come out tonight. Come out tonight. Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog, eh, Mary?
We sound beautiful, George.
Oh, well, we don't look beautiful. You should have seen me scramble to get these dry clothes out of the locker room.
I didn't know you were the football type.
I didn't know you were the royal robe type.
Didn't you now? My train, sir.
Or your caboose, my lady. Hey, you know something, Mary? I'd almost say you were the prettiest girl in town. You look wonderful.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know, maybe I will. But, what happened to you? How'd you get so grown up?
I'm gaining on you, George. Maybe we'll be in the same class at college.
Same class? Hey, how old are you anyway?
18.
18? Well, it seems only last year you were just 17.
What? Am I too young? Or too old?
Oh, no. You're exactly right. Your age sorta fits ya. I'm just saying you look a little older without your clothes on.
What?
I mean, without your dress on. Or, no, I mean,
What do you mean, George?
Hey, look where we are.
Oh, the old Granville house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotta throw a rock, bust a window.
Oh, no, George. Even though it's deserted, I love this old place. It's full of romance.
Romance? No, with the deserted houses, you gotta make a wish, and then you try and bust a window.
But it's such a lovely old house. I want to live there someday.
In there? Go on. I wouldn't live there if I were a ghost. Now watch, that window on the second floor, watch this, here we go. Hey, how about that, huh? Pretty good shot, eh? Broke that window.
What'd you wish for, George?
Wish? Oh, I don't know, not just one wish, Mary, a whole hatful of them, you see. I'm leaving this crummy little town. I want to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum, and that's just the summer.
That's a good start, George.
Yeah, and then I'm coming back and going to college, see what they know, of course.
Of course.
And then I'm gonna build things. I'm gonna build skyscrapers, airfields, bridges a mile long, and then I'm gonna, what you doing, Mary? Hey, you're a pretty good shot yourself. So, what was your wish?
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight and dance by the light of
Oh, come on, Mary. What is it you want? What, do you want the moon? All you gotta do is say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it.
Okay, the moon. I'll take it. Then what?
Well, then what? Well, then you could swallow it and dissolves and moonbeams shoot out of your fingers and the ends of your hair and then, what, am I talking too much?
Yes. Why don't you kiss her?
How's that? Say what?
I said, why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
Kiss her, huh?
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
Oh, well, hey, come back here just a minute. I'll show you some kissing that'll, wait, Mary, don't run off. I'm just funning with, Oh, Mary, you're
Over here, in the hydrangeas.
in the hydrangeas.
Toss me my robe, George.
Toss you your robe? Oh, sure, I'll toss you your, well, now, wait a minute.
What?
Well, this is a very interesting situation.
No. Give me my robe, please.
Well, now, hold on. I've gotta think this through. It isn't every day that a guy has an opportunity like this.
George Bailey.
Especially in Bedford Falls.
I'll tell your mother on you.
Oh, but she lives way up the street from here.
George.
Oh, maybe I could sell tickets. Make a little more spending money for the trip.
George!
I'll tell you what, I'll make you a deal, Mary. If you just let
George! George!
Hey, Uncle Billy, look here. I'm gonna kiss Mary. Watch.
George, get in the car, quick. It's your father.
Father?
He's had a stroke.
What? My father's had a...
Come on, George, get in. Hurry.
Here, Mary, I've gotta go.
Well, George's father died that night, Clara, and George didn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting.
Well,
A meeting?
sitting here and...
They had to appoint a successor to Mr. Bailey.
Hey, these are good sound loans and it's like,
Enough discussion, gentlemen. All those in favor of approving these last loans made by our deceased president, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Mr. Potter's dissent is noted, but the motion carries. The loans are approved.
all right.
Thank you. George, that's all we'll need from you. I know you've got a train to catch.
Yes, is Ernie's taxi out there, Uncle Billy?
Yes, yes. A taxi's waiting to take George to the train and college. Hurry, George.
I'd like the board to know that George here gave up his trip to Europe to oversee these past months. Thank you, George. Good luck at college.
Thank you. So long, gentlemen.
Now, proceeding with our agenda, we come to the real purpose of this meeting. We must...
No, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Potter?
I've waited long enough. I want to get to my real purpose, the dissolution of this.
Hey,
I said I've waited long enough. Now, this institution isn't needed in this town. It competes with the bank and is a general nuisance to sound business practices. Therefore,
Mr. Potter.
That is your opinion, Mr.
It's
Potter.
not an opinion, it is fact. Now that Peter Bailey is dead, I move that we dissolve the building and loan and turn its assets and liabilities over to a receiver.
Ridiculous.
Now, wait a minute, Potter.
No, you wait a minute. Peter Bailey was not a businessman. He was a man of high ideals, so-called. But ideals without common sense can ruin this town.
Ruin?
Of course, it isn't fair to the little people to encourage them to live beyond their means. Like this Ernie Bishop, the taxi driver. I happen to know that he was turned down for a home loan by the bank. But he...
Oh, now wait a minute, Mr. Potter. I handled Ernie Bishop's loan. You've got the papers in front of you, his income, insurance, and his collateral. And I can personally vouch for his character.
Ah, friend of yours, George. You see, gentlemen, if you shoot pool with an employee here, you can borrow money. And what's that getting us? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class. All because starry-eyed dreamers like Peter Bailey stirred them up and put impossible ideals in their head. Now, who will second my motion to dissolve?
Hold on, Mr. Potter.
Oh, I meant no disrespect, George, but your
Oh,
father...
now wait a minute. Why my father ever started this penny ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter, that rabble you're talking about, well, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community.
So?
Is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms with a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People are human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Now, in my book, Mr. Potter, my father died a richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book, George. I'm talking about the building and loan.
No, you're talking about something you can't get your greedy hands on. It's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, I've said too much, and I have to leave.
That's okay, George. Come on.
That's quite enough, actually.
I apologize, gentlemen. Well, you're the board. You can do what you want, but let me just say this town needs this measly one-horse institution. If only to have some place where people can borrow a few dollars without crawling to Mr. Potter. Come on, Uncle Billy, we gotta get out of here.
So, what happened, George?
Yeah, all Tilly and I heard was a lot of yelling.
You won't believe it, Eustace? Boy, oh boy, you should have heard George.
Oh yeah? Right now they're voting us out of business.
Well, after 25 years, easy come, easy go. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen to us now.
And your mother, George, poor thing.
And no job for Harry.
But I don't care, George, because it was worth it. It was worth it to see you shut Potter's big mouth.
Yeah, who cares? I can always get a new job. I'm only 51.
56.
Will you get out of here, George? You already missed your boat trip to Europe. Do you want to miss college, too? Ernie's waiting down.
George, they just voted Potter down.
Well, B, we're still in business. We're still in business.
There goes my new career, Eustace.
What a relief, Tilly.
But there's one condition, George. They've appointed you to take your father's place.
Appoint me? No. Uncle Billy's your man.
Sure, you can keep him on. You can hire anyone you like.
Well, no, wait, Dr. Campbell. Get this straight. Don't you people realize I've got plans? I'm leaving for college right now.
George, you've got to take it. They said they'll vote with Potter otherwise. They said so.
Do you mean that without George here, Potter would be able to persuade them to dissolve the whole?
Wait, boss, don't tell me. George Bailey didn't make it to college?
No, he didn't, Clara. George gave his college money to his brother Harry, and Harry went instead.
But what about that girl? The cute one stuck in the hydrangea bush? You know, Mary?
Oh, George saw her now and again, but Mary also went away to college. And George worked 4 more years at the building and loan, waiting for Harry to finish school, come back, take over. George still hoped to see the world, though he planned to work in the oil fields of Venezuela, except when Harry came back, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his wife.
George, is that you, dear?
Oh, yes, Mother. I just thought I'd get some air.
So, how do you like your new sister-in-law?
Ruth? Oh, yeah, she's swell. Harry's got all the luck.
She'll keep him on his toes.
Well, keep him out of Bedford Falls anyway.
Now, Ruth's father has a good job for Harry up in Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo. That means,
Oh, then you can't.
yeah, again.
I'm sorry, George.
Yeah.
Well, did you know Mary Hatch is back from college too?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She's been back 3 whole days. Nice girl, that Mary.
I suppose.
Oh, stop this moping, George Bailey. It's not like you.
Well, what do you want me to do, Mother?
Give me one reason why you shouldn't go see Mary.
Well, what about Sam Wainwright, for one?
Sam Wainwright? Hee-haw?
Sam's crazy about Mary.
Well, she's not crazy about him.
Not? Oh, now how do you know that? What is it in the newspaper? Oh, did I miss it?
Mary's got her eye on you, George. She lights up like a firefly whenever you're around.
Oh, Firefly.
You don't want her to be an old maid, do you? Plus, Sam Wainwright is in New York.
Oh, is he now? So all's fair in love and war, is that it?
Don't be difficult. The right girl can help you find the answers, George.
Okay, Mother. Trying to get rid of me, huh? Well, I think I'll go find a girl and do some passionate necking.
George!
Good night, Mrs. Bailey. By the way, do you need any books from the library?
Library? Oh, George! George, you go and see Mary, do you hear?
Hiya, George. Need a lift?
Oh, no, Ernie, I wouldn't want to rob you of a fare.
You wouldn't be robbing me of any fares, George. The taxi business is on the skids.
Oh, well then, it's just like the building and loan business. You want to swap?
Actually, George, I need to talk to you. I'm gonna have to turn the deed back over to you.
Deed? The deed to your house? You've only been there 2 years, Ern.
Yeah, but with business being so bad, I can't make the payments right now. Me and the missus will just have to move back in with her folks.
Oh, Ernie, no. I'll tell you what. Can you just pay the interest?
The interest? Well, sure, I could do that, but...
Okay, so keep the house. Forget the principal for a while. You're just hitting a rough patch, that's all.
Gosh, George, I don't know how to thank you. This means so...
Taxi! You hear that, Ern? You're back in business.
I am. Coming right up.
Attaboy, Ernie.
Hey, going somewhere, Georgie Porgy?
Oh, hi, Violet. Hey, fellas. Gosh, you look great, Vi.
In this old thing? Oh, I only wear this when I don't care how I look. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Excuse me, fellas. I think I got a date. So, Georgie, what's going on? Where are you heading?
Oh, I was just going down to the library, I suppose.
Oh, come on, Georgie. Don't you ever get tired of just reading about stuff?
Well, come to think of it, yes. What are you doing tonight, Violet?
Me? Not a thing.
Okay. Well, if you're game, Vi, we can make a night of it. I've got to talk to somebody. What do you say?
Sure, George. It's about time. What'll we do?
Well, what do we do? Well, we'll go out to the fields, yeah, and take off our shoes and walk through the grass.
The fields?
Yeah, and we can go up to the Bedford Falls, and you've got to see them in the moonlight. There's this green pool up there, Vi, and we can swim in it.
Swim?
Sure, and then we can climb Mount Bedford and smell the pines and watch the sunrise on the peaks. Oh, come with me. We'll stay up there the whole night, and it'll be the talk of the town. Be a terrific scandal. What about it, Vi?
George Bailey, Have you lost your mind? Walk through the grass in my bare feet? It must be 10 miles to the falls, and this is the only thing I have to wear. You expect me to go swimming in this?
Violet, okay.
What's with you, George? For a guy who wanted to sail around the world, you don't seem to have been around the block. I mean, come on.
Fine. Just forget the whole thing. Just forget it.
George, what are you doing out there?
Nothing. Oh, is that you, Mary?
I think so. Well,
Well, what? Oh, me. I was just passing by.
yes, several times. I wondered if you were picketing or haunting me.
No, why would I be?
But your mother phoned, saying you were coming over.
My mother phone? The nerve? Well, I just happened to be passing by, that's all. I didn't have any firm kind of...
So, are you coming in or aren't you?
Well, all right. If you insist, I'll come in for a minute, but I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Right. You're your own man.
So when'd you get back?
Tuesday,
Oh, where'd you get that dress?
New York. Do you like it?
Well, it's all right, I guess. I thought you'd take up in New York like Sam and the rest.
Oh, I worked there on a few vacations, but I don't know, I got homesick.
Homesick? You got homesick for Bedford Falls?
Well, it is home after all. No point just standing here on the porch. Come on in.
I don't understand this. I didn't tell anybody I was coming over here.
So you're leaving?
Well, no, I wouldn't want to be rude. I'll stay a while since I'm here.
So, it's nice about your brother and his new wife, isn't it?
Yeah, Ruth. It's okay.
What's the matter? You don't like her?
Well, of course I do. Ruth's a peach.
Oh, it's just marriage in general you're down on, huh?
Well, no, marriage is all right for some people. I mean, it's fine for Harry and for Sam Wainwright and you.
For Sam.
Mary, who's down there?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What's he want?
I don't know. What do you want, George?
Me? Nothing. Not a thing. I was just passing by.
Coward. He's making violent love to me, Mother.
He is! You tell him to go right back home. Sam Wainwright said he'd call tonight from New York.
I guess so, Mother. So, George, how about a little music here?
You know, your mother shouldn't. Oh, that. Now, I didn't come over here just.
Well, what did you come here for?
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be the girl with all the answers. How about you tell me why?
Why don't you go home?
Okay, maybe I will go home.
Mary, the telephone!
Sheesh, I don't even know why I came here.
Mary!
Good night.
Good night.
Mary, the phone!
You know, with all this shouting, you'd think that somebody could...
Mary! Maybe it's Sam! Answer it!
You'd think what, George?
Mary, get the phone!
All right already! I'll get it, Mother. Oh, George, on your way out, could you turn off the phonograph?
Oh, sure, I'd be glad to. Doggone crazy song. Let me get out of here.
Hello? Hatch residence? Oh, Sam!
Hey, Mary, it's so good to hear your voice.
Is it?
Excuse me, Mary. It seems I've forgotten my hat.
Oh, Sam, how nice of you to call. All the way from New York. Hee-haw.
What? Mary? Oh yeah, hee-haw.
You know, Sam, an old friend of yours is here, George Bailey.
What? Old Massback George, in person?
Yep, old Mossback George.
Hee-haw, well, put George on. Oh, I want to say hi.
Wait a minute, Sam. George,
Mary, you idiot! Sam doesn't want to talk to George.
he does too. He even asked for George.
What is it, Mary? You see, I'm in a hurry. I've got to
Wait,
get...
It's Sam Wainwright. He wants to talk to you.
Sam Wainwright? Oh,
Sam, here's George.
hi, Sam. Hee-haw.
Hee-haw, some pal you are. What are you trying to do there? Steal my girl?
Steal your girl? Hey, nobody's trying to steal any girl. Mary, here's Sam again.
No, wait a minute, George. Wait. I want to speak to both of you. Now, put Mary back on the extension upstairs.
He wants you to get on the extension upstairs.
I can't. Mother's on the extension.
I am not.
George, just put your head a little closer. We can both hear.
Both? Okay.
There. All right. Sam, we're both on the line.
Good. Now I have a plan that's gonna make us all rich. George, remember the one time in Martini's Tavern? You told me making plastics out of chili beans.
Chili beans?
I mean soybeans.
Oh, yeah, soybeans. Okay.
Well, my father's investing in it, George. We're gonna open a factory outside Rochester. What do you think of that?
Rochester, a factory. Wait, why don't you put it here in Bedford Falls? That old tool machinery works closed down. You could get that building for a song. Plus, there's lots of labor here too.
Oh, now you're talking, George. But here's the point. Mary, you listen to this too. If you got any money, put every dime into our stock.
Stock?
Oh, come on, George. We might even have a job for you. That is, if you're not still married to that broken down old building alone. Here's your chance to get on the ground floor.
Ground floor? That's wonderful.
We'll have to see, Sam.
Oh, Mary, are you still listening?
Yes, Sam, I'm here.
Okay, tell George this is the chance of a lifetime. You hear? The chance of a lifetime.
He says it's the chance of a lifetime.
Give me that phone.
Here's George again. George!
Well, now you listen to me, Mary. I don't want any plastics, any job, any ground floors, and I don't want to get married ever to anyone. You understand me?
Oh, George.
And I want to do what I want to do, and you're not going to trick me into any...
George.
Mary, Mary, I
know.
So, George and Mary got, what did they say, like, hitched?
Yes, Clara. They were married that October.
I always cry in October.
And the two headed off on their honeymoon in Ernie Bishop's taxicab.
Here you go, newlyweds. Bert the cop sent this bottle of bubbly. But don't tell anyone. Prohibition and all that.
Mum's the word, Ernie.
So, where are you two heading on this deluxe honeymoon?
Oh, you see this fat wad of cash? Count it, Mary. It's our kitty.
So?
So, we're shooting the works, Ernie. A week in New York, a week in Bermuda. It'll be the highest hotels, richest caviar, the hottest music, and the prettiest wife.
Congratulations, George. You're finally getting out of Bedford Falls. Then what?
Gee, I don't know. Then what, dear?
The moon. Who cares?
That's right. Hey, you know what, Mrs. Bailey? I haven't kissed you nearly enough.
Well, then come here, you.
Slow down, lovebirds. Hey, any fond farewells, George? Here's Geneve Street.
So long, Bedford Falls. So long, old building and loan. So long, Uncle Billy and Mr. Potter and everyone else. We're sneaking out and we won't ever be coming back. Ever.
Hey, George, there's something going on over there. Look at the crowd. Over there in front of the bank. Looks like the door's locked.
What? Pull over, Ernie.
What is it, George?
Hey, George, that's what you call a bank run.
A bank run?
Yeah, if you got any money in the bank, you better pull it out in a hurry.
Oh, George, no, let's not stop, please. Ernie, just go straight to the train station. George!
Just wait a minute, honey. I'll see what this is. I'll be back in a second.
No, George, please. George, don't go. Ernie, stop him.
And now, Act 2 of the Page Players Radio Theater presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. In heaven, the superintendent of angels is still reviewing George Bailey's case history. Clara, the apprentice angel, is eager to depart for her mission to Earth.
Goodness, boss, I've heard enough background. If George Bailey's contemplating suicide, I'd better head down to Earth right away.
Hold it, Clara. We're not anywhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life.
Why not?
You'll never get your wings unless you can be patient. Now, where were we?
George and Mary were heading out of town on their honeymoon when they ran into a bank run, I mean.
Yes, it was the financial panic of 1932. You see, bank troubles were very prevalent back then.
What's going on, boss?
In the lobby of the building and loan, dozens of worried shareholders were clamoring for their savings. Meanwhile, George found Uncle Billy in his office.
What is this, Uncle Billy? I saw the line of people outside the bank, but what's with this angry crowd in our lobby?
It's a panic, George. They want to withdraw their shares.
Oh, they want their money.
But we're in a pickle. The bank called in our loan this morning.
Our loan?
Shut up, Jimmy.
Forget the bird. The bank called in our loan?
Well, they've got to run. They need the cash, so they demanded we pay off our loan. Immediately. I handed over all our cash. I had to.
You handed over all our cash? But that means...
The whole town's gone nuts, George. Now we're in the same pickle as the bank. Who'd have thought you couldn't trust the American banking system to be... Hello? This is Billy. What? Potter? George, it's Henry Potter.
For me? Yeah. George Bailey here.
George, are you okay? Have you called the police to quell that unruly crowd in your lobby?
Oh, the police? Now why would we need
Well, I just want you to know that in this financial crisis, I'm here to help.
help?
Yes, I've guaranteed sufficient funds to the bank. They will close down for a week's bank holiday, then reopen.
Potter just took over the bank. I see, and they'll reopen under new management, of course.
Of course. Now, this may cost me a fortune, but I'm willing to help out your shareholders too. If they need cash, they can sell their shares to me. I'm paying 50 cents on the dollar.
Oh, no, they won't. There'll be no fire sale here. We don't need your bailout.
You don't have any cash and you know it. That means bankruptcy, and your working people will lose everything. Am I wrong? I know your charter. If you close your doors before 6 p.m., you'll never reopen.
Oh, you don't miss a trick, do you, Potter? Well, here's one you will. Shut up, Jimmy!
Well, George, I guess you told him.
Yeah, Uncle Billy, but he's right. Our charter requires that we stay open until 6 p.m. If we don't, the state can take our license away.
Stay open until 6? Without any money? It'll take a miracle.
Oh, come on, let's see what about that crowd out there.
George, we need our money.
Yeah. Okay, hold on now, please, everybody, don't panic. I know you want your money.
Yeah, what are we gonna do
Okay,
without our money?
look. I just talked with Mr. Potter on the phone. He says the bank will reopen next week. Next week.
Next week, what are we gonna do? We want our money, George. Where's our money?
Oh, come on, everybody, wait, just a minute. Now listen here, come on. You've got it all wrong. Your money isn't here.
What do you mean our money isn't here?
Oh, just a minute, let me explain. Your money's not here. It's not in the safe. No, the money you've invested in this building and loan was put into people's houses. It's in Ernie's house and the Grimaldi place and your house and 100 other houses.
Why is all of our money?
That's how the building and loan works. If you all want your money now, what do you want us to do? Foreclose on them? Throw them out of their own homes?
I think that is enough. I don't care. I got $242 in shares here. $242 won't break you. Close my account. I want my money now.
Yeah, mine too. Come on.
Yeah, we need our money right now.
Okay. Sign this form and you'll get your money in 60 days.
60 days? That is so long. How are we gonna live? What do you mean, 60 days?
Well, that's what you all agreed to when you bought your shares.
I got my money.
What? How did you get your money? What happened?
Old Man Potter will pay you 50 cents on the dollar for your shares.
Really? I think that's really interesting.
Now, what do you say, George?
Well, now we've got to stick to the agreement.
Oh, yeah? Come on, everybody. Let's take our shares to Potter. Half is better than nothing.
Oh, wait, come on, please, folks, don't do this. Stop! Listen, if Potter gets a hold of the building and loan, there won't be a decent house built in this town ever again. Can't you see? He's just taken over the bank. He's already got the bus line, the department store, and now he's after us. You know why? We're cutting into his business. He wants you to keep living in his shacks and paying the rent that he decides.
But George...
Yeah, Eddie, last year things were tough for you. You couldn't always pay, right? You think Potter would have let you keep your house?
Well...
Listen, everybody. Potter is buying because you're panicking and he's not. To him, you're just a bunch of bargains. Now, we can get through this, but only if we stick together. We've got to believe in one another and have faith.
That's a lot of fine talk, George, but I've got doctor bills to pay.
What do we live on until the bank reopens?
Yeah, how are we supposed to live until the bank without our money?
My husband got laid off. We need our money.
You can't feed your kids on faith.
That's right. What are we supposed to do? What are we meant to do without money, George?
George, darling.
Hey, Mary.
How much do they need? We've still got some money.
We do? Oh, yes, we do.
The honeymoon money.
Oh, wait, folks, I got $2,000 here, my own money.
Well, that should last us until the bank
I
reopens.
hope so, Uncle Billy. Sure would have made a nice honeymoon.
Bought some furniture, too.
Okay, we got some cash, all right? Charlie, how much do you need?
$242.
Come on, Charlie, just enough to tide you over.
I want my $242.
Okay, Uncle Billy, give Charlie here $242.
That closes my account.
No,
then.
that doesn't close your account.
It's just a loan, Charlie. Just a loan.
All right.
now
All right.
let me-
Hey, okay. All right. Eddie now.
Well, I got $300 in here.
Oh, come on, Eddie. How much do you need?
Well, $20 then?
Thank you, Eddie. Thank you. Okay. Mrs. Davis, how about you?
But George, this is your own money.
That's okay. That's okay. What do you need?
Well, would $17.40 be too much?
$17.40. Bless you, dear. Pay it back when you can. Okay, who's next? Now we gotta spread it out a bit. Okay, we've only got $2,000 here. Everyone needs money.
Look at the clock, George. Look.
I'm looking, Uncle Billy. I'm looking. 5 seconds. 4 seconds.
3, 2, 1. 6 o'clock. We made it.
Oh, lock that door, Eustace. Lock that door.
Right, George.
Oh, it's still in business. Uncle Billy, even if we've only got $2 left.
Maybe they'll breed in the safe, eh, Eustace?
Yeah, like bunnies.
They'd better.
George, telephone.
Okay, Tilly. Oh, by the way, call my wife, will you? I forgot all about the...
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I want Mrs. Bailey. I want Wait, Mrs. Bailey. Oh, right, that's my wife. Give me the phone already, will you? Hello? Is this Mrs. Bailey?
Yes, this is Mrs. Bailey.
Well, Mary, we survived. I'm so sorry about...
Now that you're done saving things, come home.
Huh?
Come home.
Come home? Well, what home?
Our home.
What?
Our home, George. At 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore, huh? Whose home is that?
Our home.
Huh?
Our home, saphead.
But Mary, how can we have
Right now.
Right now? Okay, sure. All right, sure.
I love you.
I love you too, honey. I'm coming home.
Clara, do you know where 320 Sycamore was?
His mother-in-law's house.
No, it was the old Granville house where George Mary threw rocks and made wishes. You see, her wish was to marry George and live in the Granville house. And that's where they honeymooned. That's where they set up house. And that's where they were still living 2 years later when Mr. Potter asked George to drop by his office. Now, George, I suppose why you're wondering why you're here.
I have no idea, Mr. Potter, but I'm sure you do.
That's what I admire about you, George. You're like me. You get right to the point. Okay, well, George, I'm giving up.
What? Giving up?
Yes. As you know, I run nearly everything in this town. Everything except the Bailey Building and Loan. Of course, I've tried to gain control of it for a few years. But you've outwitted me, evaded me, defeated me. Am I right?
Well, actually, yes.
That's because you're smart, George. 2 years ago, during the bank panic, you and I were the only ones who kept our heads. You saved the building and loan, and I saved everything else.
Most people would say you stole everything else.
Envious people might say that, George. The suckers might say that. But we both know I was just being a smart businessman. And that's what I'm being right now.
So you're giving up?
Well, if you can't beat them, join them.
What? If you're suggesting that we...
Well, wait, George, don't get up. Don't leave. Take it easy now. I've told you my side of the story, but let's look at your side.
What?
Your side now. You're a young man, 27, 28, married, making what, $40 a week?
45.
Okay, 45. And if you were a common, ordinary yokel, I'd say you're doing pretty well. However, you are no common, ordinary yokel. Son, you're an intelligent, resourceful, ambitious young man who hates his job. Yes, you hate the building and loan almost as much as I do. George, you've been dying to get out of this town ever since you were born. You see your friends, your brother, go places. Well, you're trapped here. Trapped into frittering away your life, playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Is this a correct picture, George, or do I exaggerate?
So, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that I want to hire you, George.
To hire me? To do what?
To manage my affairs, oversee my property, and I could start you off at $20,000 a year.
$20,000 a year?
Of course, and you're worth it too. Wouldn't you like to live in the best house in town, get your wife some fine clothes, a trip to Europe every year?
Europe? Are you sure you're talking to me? I'm George Bailey. You remember me? The building and loan George Bailey.
Yes, the George Bailey whose ship has just come in, providing that has the brains to climb aboard.
Oh, yes, but what about the building and loan?
Forget about the building and loan. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Do we have a deal or not?
Well, $20,000, a nice home, Europe. Can you give me 24 hours to think about it and ask my wife?
Of course, George. Meanwhile, I'll draw up the papers. Let's shake on it, my boy.
Okay, Mr. Potter. I never thought that I...
Oh, what? Something wrong, George? We're just shaking hands over a business.
No, I can't do it. I don't need 24 hours. I know right now the answer is no.
What?
If you offered me $1 million to stay in Bedford Falls to be your stooge, the answer would still be no.
But why?
Because the whole world shouldn't revolve around you and your money. Some things can't be bought or bought off, and I'm one of them. I don't need you or your money. Now, let me out of here.
You'll eat those words, George Bailey. You're a failure, just like your father. You just don't know it yet.
Sorry I'm late, Mary. What are you... You're bored waiting up for me?
Just knitting, George. So, what did Mr. Potter want to see you about?
Oh, nothing really. Just talk, but... Geez, why'd you marry a guy like me anyways?
Well, I didn't want to be an old maid.
But I was gonna see the world and go places, build things. I was gonna give you the moon, but... Instead, what have I given you, huh? No nice clothes, no fancy house, no trip to Europe. Some husband I am. I feel terrible.
Me too. Mornings especially.
You could have married somebody successful. Somebody like Sam Wainwright, anybody else.
But I didn't want anybody else. I wanted my baby to look like you.
You didn't even get a honeymoon. You wanted your what to look like me?
My baby?
Baby? What? You mean, hey, Mary, you mean you're on the nest?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Clara, Mary had her baby. A boy they named Petey.
That's nice.
Then another one, a girl, Janie.
Good for them.
But of course, George never got out of Bedford Falls.
He didn't.
No, year after year, George slaved away at the building and loan, helping folks like Mr. Martini move into their own homes in the development, Bailey Park. George kept on dreaming and hoping. Mary had another baby, Susan, who they nicknamed Zuzu.
How charming.
Then came the war. Mary ran the USO and had another boy, Tommy. Uncle Billy and Gower sold war bonds. Old Mr. Potter headed the draft board. Of course, Violet joined the Waves, until they found out her way of raising the morale would sink the Navy.
Oh my.
Bart the cop got wounded in Tansuna and received the Silver Star. Ernie, the cab driver, was captured by the Nazis but escaped from a prison camp. And George's brother Harry, remember him?
Yes, he moved to Buffalo.
Yes, he did, but Harry became a real hero. As a Navy flyer, he shot down 15 planes. 2 of them just as they were about to shoot down into a ship full of soldiers.
And, George, what did George do in the war?
Well, George fought the Battle of Bedford Falls. He was designated 4F due to his bad ear, so he served as an air raid warden, ran the scrap drives, rubber drives, plastic drives. Like the rest of the country on VE Day, he wept and prayed, and on VJ Day, he wept and prayed again.
We're just about up to today then, aren't we, boss?
Yes, the only thing you don't know about George Bailey is what happened that has him down there, that at this moment wanting him to die.
Suicide. What is it, boss?
All right, today's the day before Christmas, and in addition to holiday preparations, George is very excited.
Tilly! Eustace, did you see this in the paper? Commander Harry Bailey, famous Navy ace, decorated by President. My brother, the Medal of Honor.
Gosh, George, that's swell.
Josh, George.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Commander Bailey downed 15 enemy planes, the last a kamikaze just as it was about to dive into a troop transport. Think of it, Harry saved hundreds of lives. Hey, where's Uncle Billy? Eustace?
He's at the bank, George.
But the bank examiner's here, waiting for him.
Oh, well, good afternoon.
Carter, bank examiner.
Yes, of course. You know what? My brother's picture is here in the paper. The president's decorating him today.
Yes, well, I suppose they do that sort of thing now about the books.
George.
Violet, how are you? Did you see the paper all about Harry's homecoming and...
Can I see you a minute, George? Privately.
Privately? Okay, Vi, we can just go into my...
Mr. Bailey, I'd like to finish your audit tonight so I can get home to Elmira and spend Christmas with my family.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'll just have to, Tilly, show the books to...
Carter, bank examiner.
Of course. Can you, Tilly?
Sure, George, I'll bring them into the conference room. Come right this way, Carter.
Bank examiner.
Shut up, Jimmy.
Violet, step into my office.
Thanks, George.
So, what can I do for you, Vi?
The letter you promised?
Letter? Oh, yes, the letter of recommendation. I was right in the middle of typing it when all this stuff with Harry came up.
Like I told you on the phone, George, I'm leaving for New York. I gotta make a fresh start.
Well, here, how's this? To whom it may concern, the bearer, Miss Violet Bick, has been employed here at the Bailey Building and Loan for the past 2 years.
That's lying, George.
Oh, now, Vi. She demonstrated intelligence,
A lie.
ability,
A lie.
and good character.
Character. If I had any character,
I'm happy to give her my wholehearted endorsement.
Gee, thanks, George.
Well, come on now. It takes a lot of character to leave your hometown and start somewhere new. And here's something to help get you started.
No. Oh, no, George, I can't take that.
Oh, come on. You're broke, aren't you? Do you want to hawk your furs and that hat, walk up to New York? It's a loan, Violet, that's all. I'm in the loan business. Besides, you'll get a job.
Yeah, sure.
Good luck, Vi.
I'm glad to know you, George Bailey. Merry Christmas, Georgie.
Same to you, Vi. Say hello to New York for me.
What? Hello, New York. What?
Shut up, Jimmy.
What? Shut up, Jimmy. What?
Eustace, where's that Uncle Billy?
He's making a deposit at the bank.
What? At the bank. What? Shut up, Jimmy. What?
Well, Mr. Potter, here to personally guard your money? What, your vault not strong enough?
Look out, Bailey, old fool, my wheelchair.
Did you see the news? Harry Bailey gets Medal of Honor. What'll those Bailey boys do next?
Huh? Let me see that newspaper.
Sure, here.
What does that slacker George think about Harry being decorated?
Well, if that slacker George had gone, he'd have earned 2 Medals of Honor.
Oh, but George didn't go. Bad ear. He heard everything but the call to arms.
Well, make sure to read the part about the parade for Harry tomorrow. Sorry I can't chat more, you old thief. I gotta go make a deposit.
Next customer, please.
Hello, let me see here. Here you are, bank book, deposit slip, and a Merry Christmas to you.
To you too, Mr. Bailey, but, haven't you forgotten something?
I forget things all the time.
So, Mr. Bailey, where's the money?
What?
You want to make a deposit, don't you?
Of course, I want to deposit $8,000.
Well then, it's customary to bring the money with you.
The money, it's gone. Where'd I put that money?
God, wheel me out of here.
Take note, Clara. Uncle Billy couldn't find that deposit money because the envelope with the $8,000 was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Mr. Potter.
The money was in the newspaper? So that's why George and Uncle Billy are scouring the street.
Look by the curb, Uncle Billy. I'll look by the mailbox.
I just don't know what happened to it, George. I just don't know.
$8,000. Not our money, the depositor's money. The bank examiner's here.
But George, we've traced every step I took.
Well, if you didn't drop it, maybe you'd never put the envelope in your pocket in the first place.
Maybe, but I'm no good to you, George. No good.
Come on, you've got to think. Think.
I can't think. I just can't.
Now, where's that money, you old fool? This means bankruptcy, scandal, prison. One of us is going to jail. Well, it won't be me. You keep looking, you hear? I'm going home.
George.
What's the matter, George? You haven't said a word since you came home.
Well, how can I with Janie banging on that piano? Does she have to keep playing that over and over again?
I gotta practice for the Christmas party, Daddy.
What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Oh, yeah. Real red letter day for the Baileys.
Mom, here's Zuzu's plate. Hey, Dad.
Not now, Petey.
The Browns next door got a brand new car. You should see it.
Well, what's the matter with our car? Not good enough for you?
Sorry, Dad. I only...
Thanks for bringing Zuzu's plate, dear. All right, run along now.
Okay, I'll finish on the decorations.
Zuzu's eating in her room? What's the matter with her?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. Didn't button up her coat. She got a flower as a prize and didn't want to crush it.
What do you mean a little cold?
It's okay, dear. The doctor said it was nothing serious.
The doctor? The doctor came?
Zuzu's got a little temperature. Just 99.
Oh, it's this drafty old house. It's a wonder we don't have all pneumonia.
George.
I mean, why we gotta live here in the first place, in this crummy little town?
What's wrong, dear?
Everything's wrong. Why'd we have to have all these kids anyway?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know. Ask your mother.
Where are you going, George?
To see Zuzu.
Daddy!
Are you okay, Zuzu? I heard you had a cold.
I want a flower at school, Daddy. Can you give it a drink of water?
Drink a... okay, I'll...
Daddy, you crushed it!
Oh, no, I didn't mean to. I was
Fix
just...
it, Daddy. Paste it.
There. See, it's all pasted. Good as new.
Thank you, Daddy. You can do anything.
Anything. Now you try and get some sleep, darling. You'll feel better.
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Mary, Zuzu felt a bit hot to me. Maybe we...
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welch. Oh, she'll be all right.
Well, who is it, Mary?
It's Mrs. Welch, Zuzu's teacher. What? Oh, well, the doctor says she should be out of bed in time
Mary,
for...
give me that phone.
George, please.
Hello? Is this Mrs. Welch? Well, this is Mr. Bailey. Now, what kind of a teacher are you? Do you realize she could get pneumonia because of you?
George!
Silly, careless people like you sending kids home half naked. You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids in town, but at least... Hello? Hello? Janie, stop it with that piano! Cut it out! Stop!
Oh, Daddy.
George, whatever's wrong with you? Must you torture the children, too?
Okay, then how's this?
You worked for months on that bridge model.
Well, you happy now?
What's come over you? You're acting like a wild...
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Janie. I'm sorry, Mary.
George.
I just gotta get out of here.
So what's the sudden visit about, George? You're $8,000 short in your accounts?
Well, that's right, Mr. Potter, but you gotta help me. I'll pay any sort of interest. If you still want the building and loan, I guess we could arrange some...
But you say the money was lost. What if it was stolen? Maybe you should notify the police.
No, sir. You see, Harry's homecoming is tomorrow, and, well, the publicity would...
I see. You didn't lose the money playing the market, did you, George? Horses.
Well, of course not, Mr. Potter. The money's just...
A woman, then. Half the town's talking about you giving money to Violet Bick.
No, that has nothing to do with the...
So you come to me. Why don't your buddy, Sam Wainwright?
Well, I tried to get a hold of him, but he's in Europe right now, and...
So you want a loan from me for $8,000. What do you have as collateral, George?
Well, I have some life insurance here.
Life insurance? For how much?
It's a $15,000 policy.
$15,000. What's your equity in it?
500.
500. And you want an emergency loan on Christmas Eve for $8,000.
Yes.
You're pathetic, George Bailey. For years you opposed my plans and derided my character. You said you didn't need me or my money. Did you not?
Yes, sir.
And now, suddenly, I'm very important to you. Do I look like Santa Claus?
No, Mr. Potter.
You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, George Bailey, what are you? But a warped, frustrated young man. You dream of conquering the world. Look at you now, crawling to me for help. Go to the riffraff you love so much. Go beg them for help.
Please, Mr. Potter, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna swear out a warrant for your arrest.
Oh, wait, Mr. Potter, I thought we...
I'm calling the sheriff, the district attorney, the newspaper.
The sheriff and the newspaper? What about a loan on my insurance policy?
For $500 in equity? George, you're worth more dead than alive.
No, Oh, I've got to get out of here.
Where are you going, George? You can't hide in a small town like this. Hello, Sheriff Baxter. This is Harry Potter. I want to report embezzlement at the Bailey Building and Loan.
Boss, the nerve of that Henry Potter.
Yes, Clara. He had George's $8,000 sitting in the desk drawer.
What will George do now, boss? I mean, where is he?
Well, he's at Martini's Tavern. George has had a couple of drinks. He's dazed, just standing there.
Our Father who art in heaven. Oh, God, I've never been a praying man, but if you are listening, show me the way, please. I'm lost, God. Lost.
Hey, Mr. Bailey, you all right? Miss Martini, George, you ain't looking so good.
You're right, Nick. Mr. Bailey, you drink too much. Too much. You had enough, please.
Bailey? Which Bailey are you talking about?
This Mr. Bailey, Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey, why you? Serves you right, Bailey. If you ever talk to my wife that way again, you'll get even worse.
Huh?
Ain't it enough she slaves away teaching your stupid kids how to read and write? Then you got a baller out on the phone? She cried for over an hour, you louse.
Hey, beat it, Mr. Welch. You punched my best friend. He helped me buy my house. Out of here. Go. Nick, throw him out.
Go on, Welch, never mind the tab.
All right, I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, how you doing?
Oh, Martini, who was that?
That's Mr. Welch.
Oh, that's what I get for praying. Now, where's my policy?
Huh?
My insurance policy.
Don't you worry, Mr. Bailey. Welch, come here no more. Wait, Mr. Bailey, I get something cold for your face. Look, the blood.
Oh, no, that's all right.
Please, don't go. Mr. Bailey, stay.
Oh, go on, just let me be.
Stay here, Mr. Bailey. It's snowing. Nick, take Mr. Bailey home.
No, leave me alone. Alone, you hear?
Well, Clara, George left Martini's Tavern a few minutes ago. He's standing on the toll bridge, looking down at the river. He's about to jump. Do you have your plan ready?
I don't know, boss.
Well, if you can save George Bailey's life, you'll get your wings.
Oh, yes, oh, okay. I won't let you down, boss. George Bailey. Don't jump, George. Get away from that bridge.
And now, the thrilling conclusion of the Page Players' presentation of It's a Wonderful Life. A troubled George Bailey stands on the Bedford Falls toll bridge, convinced that he's worth more dead than alive. Deep in despair, George stares at the freezing waters below, poised to end it all, when suddenly...
Help! Help me, I'm drowning! Help!
Oh my God! Miss, here I come.
You two are sure lucky my toll booth is open tonight. Otherwise, you'd have froze to death. Jumping in the river like that. Are you warming up now?
Well, I'm okay, and you, miss?
Clara, I'm fine, although my underwear's a bit out of fashion, because I passed away in it, so.
You passed what?
And, Tom Sawyer's drying out, too.
Oh, the name's George.
No, my book. I still had Tom Sawyer with me, but, you know, there is a Tom Sawyer quality to you, George. Lots of ideas, wonderlust, you know?
So how'd you fall in the river?
Fall in? I didn't fall in. I jumped in. Jumped in to save you, George.
Jumped in to save me?
Well, it worked, right? You didn't go through with your plan, did you?
I'll go through with what plan?
Well, you know, suicide.
Hey, you can't commit suicide around here. I think it's against the law.
Oh, well, it is where I come from.
Well, where do you come from, miss?
Oh, heaven.
What?
Right.
George, you're bleeding. Your lip.
Oh, that. Well, I got punched in the face in answer to a prayer.
George, I'm the answer to your prayer. I was sent down from heaven to help you.
Oh, come on.
I'm Clara Oddbody, AS2.
AS2?
You know, angel, second class.
Angel? Right. Well, I'm going to see if any other angels just saved somebody. When your clothes are dry, feel free to leave.
Thank you so much for the warm stove.
Wait a minute. Now, why did you save me?
Because killing yourself is a sin, especially for $8,000.
$8,000. How in the?
I know all about you, George Bailey. Remember? Guardian angel.
Uh-huh. Well, you're just the kind of angel I'd get. Angel, huh? Well, where are your wings then?
I'm an angel, second class, George. I haven't won my wings yet. But you can help me earn them by letting me help you.
Help me? Okay, you couldn't help me with, say, $8,000, could you?
Well, we don't use money in heaven.
Oh, well, sure comes in handy down here, Bob.
Well, some may think so.
Yeah, I just found out a little too late. But since you know so much, did you know I'm worth more dead than alive?
Don't talk that way, George. I'll never get my wings if you keep that up. You just don't realize what you've done for people. I mean, if it hadn't been for you...
If it hadn't been for me, they'd all be better off. My wife, my kids, and my friends.
But killing them won't make them happier.
I suppose you're right. Guess it would have been better if I'd never been born in the first place.
What?
Yeah, I wish I'd never been born.
Oh, that's a good one, George.
Good what?
The plan you just gave me reminds me of Tom Sawyer. Let me see here.
Hey, what?
Okay, George, you got your wish. You were never born.
Never born?
That's right. Yeah, no worries, no missing $8,000, no sheriff or Mr. Potter on your trail. You don't exist.
Oh, hey, wait, my ear. Say something in my bad ear.
Yep, you hear me all right. You don't have a bad ear. That's because you're not the George Bailey you used to be. Now you're, you're nobody.
That's nuts. But I can hear.
And your lips stopped bleeding.
Hey, it did. What's happening? I need a drink. Yeah, that's what. How about you, Angel? Join me for a drink?
A drink? Well, I'm on duty, you know.
Oh, join me. As soon as our clothes are dry, we can...
Well, the clothes are dry, George. They never got wet, you see?
Okay. Let's dress and walk over to Martini's Tavern and have a... Oh, sorry, I'll walk. You can fly.
But I don't have my...
Wings, right? You don't have your wings. Well, after a few drinks, we'll both be flying. Come on.
All right, what'll it be, fellas?
Nick, is Martini still here? I want to apologize for earlier.
You want a martini, or are you being a wise guy?
No. Okay, just give me a double bourbon then.
All right, and for you?
Clara is the name. I just love a flaming... No, maybe mulled wine?
Mulled what?
Yes, with a dollop of nutmeg and just a dash of cloves. Hop to it, my lively lad.
Listen, Clara, we serve hard liquor here for men who want to get drunk quick. If it's not good enough for you, perhaps I could convince you otherwise.
Oh, that's okay, Nick. Just give her the same as me.
2 double bourbons.
Why is Nick acting that way? What's going on here? The tavern's all changed.
Bedford Falls has changed. You got your wish, George. You were never born, so it's a different world without you.
Different world.
Oh, at least somebody just made it.
Huh? Just made what, Clara?
Here are your drinks.
Well, every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
What'd you say? Angel?
Angel, second class.
Clara, you don't want to talk about angels in here.
Why? They don't believe in angels?
Well, sure, they believe in them, but...
So they're surprised to actually see one.
In a bar? Yeah.
Sorry, Nick. She just never grew up.
Sure I did. Next September, I'll be 293.
2 pixies, eh? I bet you don't got any money either.
Of course not. We don't use money in heaven.
Well, if this ain't heaven, that's enough. Out, get out of my bar.
Your bar? Where's Martini, Nick?
You ain't getting no martini. And how do you know my name anyway? I don't know you from Adam. Hey, you again. Spare some change, sir. Spare some change. Oh no, Rummy. I told you never come here again panhandling.
Oh, Mr. Gower. Mr. Gower, listen, you know me. I'm George Bailey. George Bailey.
Buy me a drink, mister. Just one. Mister. Get out of here, Gower. Bill, throw that Rummy out. No, please.
But that's Mr. Gower from the pharmacy.
Yeah? That rumhead did 20 years in prison for poisoning a kid. If you know him, you're probably jailbird too. Bill, get these two out of here. Out! Go, out!
Don't have to be so risque.
Hey, look, everybody, get me a handing out wings.
What happened to Mr. Gower? How could that be? poisoning a kid.
Don't you see, George? You weren't there to stop Gower from putting the poison
I
in-
wasn't there. Sure I was there.
No, because you weren't born.
Not born, well, who am I then?
Nobody. You have no identity.
I mean, what do you mean? I'm George Bailey.
No, you're not. No papers, no driver's license, no 4F card, no insurance policy.
Zuzu's petals.
They aren't there either, George. You may have put those flower petals in your pocket before, but now you don't exist.
They're gone. What am I, a ghost?
You've been given a gift, George, to see a world without you.
Well, you're nuts. You're driving me nuts too. I'm going home to my wife and family. Do you hear? Leave me alone. Hey, officer, Bert, what's with this sign? Welcome to Pottersville?
What about it? You're in downtown Pottersville.
Pottersville, but where's the building and loan, the Bailey building and loan?
What? That joint closed down years ago. As you can see, it's a pawn shop now.
But what about the...
Hey, where do you think you're going, Violet?
Get your filthy hands off of me, Copper. I didn't jack roll nobody. That sailor had it coming.
He did, eh? Well, you're coming with me.
I said lay off of me. I know the mayor, the judge, and the chief, and I'll have you bounced off the force. You can't touch me.
That's enough out of you. Get in the wagon.
No.
Oh, wait, Violet, hey, I know that girl.
You and every other wolf in town. Now move along before I run you in too.
Oh, step on it, Ernie. You gotta get me home. I'm losing my mind.
So where do you live, bub?
Oh, now cut that out, Ernie. Don't pull that act on me. I live at 320 Sycamore.
320 Sycamore.
Yeah, and hurry. Zuzu's sick.
Whatever you say.
Listen, Ernie, I don't know what's going on here. I'm crazy or something. Maybe I had some bad liquor. Tell me now. Your name's Ernie Bishop, right? You live with your wife and son over in Bailey Park.
What? Have you seen my wife?
Seen your wife? Of course I have. At your house. 100 times. I built it for you, didn't I?
My wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago. I ran one of Potter's shacks. I've never seen you before. So what are you calling me Ernie for?
Oh, okay, Aaron. Okay, just keep driving. Mary? Kids? Where's everybody? Petey? Janie? Zuzu? Tommy, where are you?
This is just an abandoned house, George. You don't have a wife or children.
What's happened to them?
Well, if you don't exist, then your children wouldn't.
In there, officer. That's him. He's off his rocker.
Hold it, you two. This is the police. Put your hands up.
Bert, wait, it's me.
Take it easy, mister. Come along quiet-like, and we'll get you some help.
Well, Bert, what's happened to you? Look, it's her. There, she's an angel. She hypnotized me.
Well, I'm an angel, but I don't hypnotize. We prefer to...
Uh-huh. Well, I'm taking both of you... Ow! Let go of me, you!
Now's your chance, George. Run.
Ow! Bite me, will ya?
Hey, you wouldn't beat an old angel, would you? Wait, boss, help me.
What the... Hey, Ernie, where'd that old gal go?
I don't know. She just disappeared.
And what about the other one?
He ran south down Sycamore. Come on.
Yeah?
Mother.
Mother? Who are you?
I'm George. Surely you remember me, George.
George, who?
Mother, listen, you gotta help me. Something terrible's happened. Something's happened to everybody. If I can just come in and stay until I get over it, then maybe then...
Get over what? There are no vacancies. Scram.
But we're family. You know me. Your brother-in-law, Uncle Billy, and...
You know Billy?
Well, sure, I saw him today at the...
Today? Ha! Billy's locked away in the nut house ever since he lost his business.
Uncle Billy? The nut house? What?
The Pottersville Nut House. And that's where you belong too. Now beat it.
Mother, open up, it's me!
Beat it, you! I'm calling the cops, so you better run.
Looking for Bailey Park, George?
You again. Well, where's the housing development? Bailey Park. My dad and I built it right here.
As you can see, it's a cemetery, George.
Cemetery? Where are the houses? The people I knew?
Oh, well, I mean, they're here, George. They're here.
What?
Amidst these tombstones. Martini's buried here, little Blaine girl, your father, and, well, right next to him.
Harry. Harry Bailey is dead?
Your little brother fell through the ice and was drowned at the age of 9.
No, Harry got the Medal of Honor. Harry saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Every man on that transport died, George.
How?
Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry.
Me?
Strange, isn't it? Each man life touches so many other lives. You know, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Wonderful?
The kingdom of heaven is spread onto the earth, but men do not see it. Don't you see? See what a mistake it would be to throw your life away, George? Life is the greatest gift.
But all the things that I wanted to do.
It's easier to want what you get than to get what you want, George.
But Clara,
Yes?
what about Mary? Please, where's my wife?
But you don't have a...
Tell me where she is.
You won't like it, George.
Well, what's become of her? Where's my wife?
Haven't you seen enough, George?
Where is she? Tell me.
She never married. She's an old maid.
An old maid? Where is she right now? Or do I have to choke it out of you?
Okay, George. The library. She works there. She's just closing up for the night. But she won't... George, come... There must be some easier way of getting my wings.
Mary,
I'm sorry, sir. The library's closed.
No, Mary, it's me, George. George, come on, you know me.
No, I don't know you. Excuse me.
Mary.
Let me go.
Mary, I got you. I want you, please.
No, stop. Let me
Mary,
go.
please. Where are the kids? Our kids. I need you, Mary. Mary,
Let
please.
go. Get away from me. Help.
No, Mary,
Help.
I'm George. George.
Help. Somebody help me. He's mad.
Mary, it's me, your husband. Hey, get out of my way. That's my wife. That's Mary. Let me go.
No.
Mary, wait. Don't run away.
Help. There's a madman after me. Stop it.
I've got to see her, Mary. Please. Please. Clara, are you here? Where are you?
Here I am, George. So, are you going to jump off this bridge again?
No, Clara, I want things back to the way they were. Put me back into the world. I want to have been born. I do.
But you'll face scandal in prison again. The newspapers, bankruptcy, disgrace.
Anything. I'll do it, gladly. I don't care. Just give me back to my wife and kids. Clara, I want to live again.
That's the spirit, George. Don't despair. Always be willing.
Yes, can you do it? Can you do it for me, Clara? I want to live again. God, let me live again. Yes. God, I want to live again. Yes. God, please. Please, I want to live again.
George, what are you doing here?
Huh? Bert, no, stay away from me, officer. Come any closer and I'll... Clara, save me.
What in Sam Hill are you talking about, George?
What? George? Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you. George, where have you been?
Wait, where, what? Say it again, I can't hear you.
I'll try the good ear. I said, where have you been?
Oh, why, Bert? I'm alive again!
Alive again? Are you all right, George? You know your mouth's bleeding.
My mouth? Hey, my mouth is bleeding. Look at the blood oozing out of there. What do you know?
It's not that bad, George.
Oh, hey. Zeus pedals. I have them in my right pocket. Oh, they're here in my pocket. Hey, Merry Christmas, Bert.
Well, Merry Christmas. Get in the squad car, George. I'll drive you back home right after I get
I
back.
can't wait, Bert. Oh, I'm going home. Oh, boy, do I know the way home. Merry Christmas, Bert.
Merry Christmas, George.
Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Oh, I love this town. Hey, Merry Christmas, Old Building and Loan. Hooray, Merry Christmas. Oh, Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter. Yippee. Mary? What's with all the, reporters and the sheriff? Yes, well, Merry Christmas, reporters, sheriff, and Merry Christmas,
Carter. Bank examiner, Mr. Bailey, your books show a deficit and...
Yes, I know. $8,000, right?
Precisely, and your disappearance has kept
Excuse me, Mr. Bailey. I've got a warrant for your arrest here.
Yes, a warrant, Sheriff. Jail? Oh, isn't that wonderful? Merry Christmas.
Well, actually, it's not so.
Yeah.
Mr. Bailey, we need you to answer.
Yes, in a minute, folks. Mary? Kids, I'm home. Oh, look at this marvelous, drafty old house. Isn't it wonderful? Mary? Kids?
Daddy, you're home.
Merry Christmas.
Daddy, Merry Christmas.
Oh, yes, Janie, Petey, Tommy, oh, how I love you so. Where's your mother?
Out looking for you, Daddy, with Uncle Billy.
Daddy!
Suzu, Merry Christmas, my little ginger snap. How are you feeling?
Fine, Daddy, not a smidge of temperature.
Not a smidge. Hallelujah.
George? George!
Mommy's home, Mommy!
Mary!
George, where did you go?
Oh, Mary.
Oh, George.
Oh, Mary, I have to touch you, hold you. You're real, Mary, real. Oh, you have no idea what's happened.
You have no idea what's happened.
George, look what I've got.
Uncle Billy?
Money, George. Bushels of money.
You found the $8,000?
No, George. Mary worked a miracle, didn't you, Mary?
People heard you were in trouble, dear. Your friends, they pitched in to help you.
Oh, Charlie, Mrs. Davis, Martini, and Mr. Gower. Oh, Mr. Gower, thank you. Mrs. Thompson. Oh, thank you. Eddie, Tom, thank you. I can't believe it. Ernie?
Well, none of us could have a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you, George.
Yeah, that's right. Here, Georgie, alone.
Violet, didn't you go to...
No, I decided to stick around.
Wait, everybody. Here's a cable from Sam Wainwright. It reads, Mr. Gower notified me you needed cash. Stop. My office will advance you up to $25,000. Stop. Hee-haw and Merry Christmas, Sam.
Well, I don't know what to say. Mother and Harry?
George, Mary called us in Washington. I flew in as fast as I could.
Come on, everybody. A toast, a toast. Harry!
Yes, a toast to my brother George, the richest man in town. To George!
To George!
Daddy, look. See my little bell hanging on the Christmas tree?
I see it, Suzu.
I hung it up there all by myself. Can you ring it for me, Daddy?
Oh, if I can reach it, dear. Excuse me, Mary.
George, somebody left a book here under the tree. See?
Well, it's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
And there's an inscription. What's it say?
Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Love, Clara.
Clara?
Yes, very dear friend of mine.
Daddy, Mrs. Welch says every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings.
That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Thank you, Clara. Thank you, and this truly is a wonderful life. Happy landings.
For all lang syne, my dear, for all lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for all lang syne.